Hi everybody, welcome to the Bain Manor Holiday Home Tour 2019. This past weekend I was watching some YouTube videos of some holiday home tours and thought, well, I could do that. So here it is. As you come in the house, here is Harvey. He's our greeter with his Santa hat on. And at Halloween he holds a pumpkin and candy, and a great place to put the mail when you come in. Over here is a welcome holiday guest sign. This is one of the first things I bought for the house when we first moved here. I got this at the Harper College craft show that they always had the first part of November. Not sure if they still have that anymore or not. Below that is a Victorian egg tree. I got this at Smith & Hawkins on the clearance section back in the day when that store was around. I think I got that in Highland Park. I got the eggs from there as well, and kind of kept adding to that collection a little bit every year. It was really sad when that store closed. I managed to find a few of those eggs at Target several years ago to try to fill out some of those branches that are still bare. When you come in the house, to the right is the parlor, and this is where our main tree is at. And sometimes we don't get this one up every year, but I managed to get it up this year. One thing that's on here is this lace garland. Years ago, I saw this at a store and bought a small section of it and showed it to Mom if she could make a bigger one for me. So she crocheted this for us, and I think she got one for my sister, and she did one for her as well. And the funny thing was, one of our cats, Gertrude, who never got into anything, used to somehow take part of it off. A lot of these ornaments bring back a lot of memories. This red one here, Richard got in Germany when he used to work for a German company, and he would go to Germany several times a year. He got that as well as this gold one. I always make sure to pack those away special. This little ornament here reminds me of our house. I got this downtown Chicago. Several others I got at ornament exchanges, such as this turtle one, which is funny to me. It's made out of seashells, and got that at a Delta Zeta ornament exchange party. Up at the top, our angel we got at a craft show at Fall Diddley years ago, when it used to be at the in Woodstock at the McHenry County Fairgrounds. Since then they've moved it. I think it's in Belvedere now. Also at the top of the tree is a special little cat angel ornament. Richard's mother sent that to us the year that Heathcliff, our first cat that we had together, passed away. And she really loved angels, and I used to send her angels. And since she has passed, I got a few of her angels back, including this blue one that I'd gotten her years ago. I thought that was a really pretty angel. Some of the ornaments are quirky, and ornaments at the bottom of the tree. I have a lot of cat ones and ones that aren't breakable, so in case the cats get in the tree, we won't have a catastrophe. I love Santa Clauses, and this is one of my favorites. I don't even remember where I got him anymore, but he sits, his sleigh is an old cheese box, and I love the cat that's in it because everybody knows I love kitties, and if I don't decorate for Christmas or as much as I did this year, I always make sure this one gets out. Like I said, I love Santa Clauses, and here's a collection of them on the mantle in the parlor. They're all kind of different and quirky and things. I've found them at antique, well, not antique shops, but gifty shops that have handcrafted items, craft store shows, different things like that. A few were gifts. And this one here at the end, my friend Alice, who passed away earlier this year, gave me that. She used to give me several, something Christmassy every year. And to me, at night, this just puts a smile on my face. This is like the money shot with the red Victorian furniture and the lights just twinkling away on the Christmas tree. Now let's head into the sunroom. I actually got a tree out here this year. This tree has kind of been in almost every room in the house, it seems like, but its intention was to come out here. I ended up putting kind of gardening, outdoorsy things on here, like bird houses and birds, dragonfly, there's a bumblebee, pine cones, things like that. I wanted it to be kind of outdoorsy. And at the bottom, I have some pine cones, and then I had also added some copper colored ornaments on here as well. I don't have a huge house collection like some people might, but I have a few. The two on the end are glitter houses. I think that's what they're called. I got those at Marshall's, Home Goods, TJ Maxx, one of those. And then the two in the middle, and then the little kid statues I got as gifts from Mark and Jerry, a couple of my friends. Sunroom stays nice and toasty in the winter. There's radiators out here. I get that question sometimes. Over here is one of the few things I bought this year. Was a Santa silhouette. I love the silhouettes. And I got this at a great shop in Kenosha called Lulu Birds. Also above here on this antique radio is a embroidery that I did years ago, way before we bought this house. It says Merry Christmas in the 7th year of my life. And when I finished it, I tea dyed it to make it look old, because it was really on some white linen. In the entryway, I have a garland up this year. A lot of times I don't get it up, and I have some ornaments hanging on it from back in the day when I used to sell Southern Living at home. To the left of our entry is the library, and of course I have that decorated as well. I get a lot of comments about this desk. This desk came from a library in Iowa. I bought it at a flea market years ago, and it's really, really heavy. It took 5 guys to get this puppy in the house. Besides Santas, I also love snowmen. And it all started with the little dude sitting kind of in the middle. See if I can get in on him better. Let's see, this guy. He was the first snowman I believe I bought. I got him at Harper College. And over the years, just kind of kept adding to the collection. And the quirkier, the better. Again, I usually take a photo, or I have a photo of my snowman, so I kind of have a rough idea without having to think too much about where they go, things like that. So it helps with the decorating. If I buy extra snowman this year, then I would need to take a new picture. And they just pop against this red wall, and I tend to keep them up until I'm really, really, really sick of winter, which is, they usually come down in probably February. February is a long month here in Wisconsin. Everything else usually comes down by Martin Luther King Day. Usually do it slowly each weekend, take something down. The tree in the library is a crystal tree. All the ornaments on here are crystal, or plastic that look like crystal. One of our first Christmases when we were married, we went out to California, and we went to a party at one of Richard's mother's friends. I think her name was Harriet. I could be wrong. She had a crystal tree, and it was the most beautiful thing I'd ever seen. And I said, someday I am going to do that. So several years ago, I realized I had enough things to do this tree. So I have icicles, I have these glass picks, just so many different things on here and it just twinkles at night. And something kind of sweet underneath the tree is this little angel ornament. And the year Richard's mother passed away, she had already did some Christmas shopping and had this box labeled for me. And so I put that under there for her. So the original builder of this house was Edward Bain. He was a wagon maker, and he was one of the largest wagon makers in the country, actually. And I always think this door area reminds me of a wagon, and those are the four wheels of a wagon. They're actually coat closets. Here's our dining room, and I've been kind of proud of this room. We've done a lot of work in here. Several years ago, we painted and wallpapered in here. Last fall, we got the ceiling replastered and was able to save all the medallions in here. And the chandelier we finally hardwired. It was on a swag. And the funny thing was, when we bought the house, the crystals came off and were taken away. So we had to buy crystals for the chandelier, and I finally got them up this past spring. And this past spring, we finally got the floors refinished in here, so they look beautiful. There were some holes in the floor from the radiators that we had taken out. I had a big dinner here this past Monday night, so I still have the tablecloth on, and I just kind of gathered the greens from that and the picks and made it into a centerpiece. The Christmas tree in here is kind of quirky, like a lot of us. It's an upside down tree. Years ago, I saw one at, Stein's or Milliger's. Thought it was kind of interesting. I loved how the ornaments hung from it. Mentioned it to my husband. Next thing I know, let's buy one. So I think we might have gotten it from Amazon. I don't know. But I got it over here in the side this year. So he always wants it front and center. But I love how the ornaments hang from it. I have this Merry Christmas garland on it. And I think I got that at Milliger's. And then I have snowflake ornaments. Some of these glass ones I got from when I sold Southern Living at Home. I have some little elf feet. Some other breakable ones that hopefully the cats don't come tearing through here and knock it down. And then this little toy chest here with some antique vintage looking toys I got at a craft show in Rock Island several years ago. They always have a great craft show. It's the Friday after Thanksgiving. So I made that trip a few times to that craft show when I was down back home. The settee is in the middle of the room, and we got that from his mother. And the pillows on this are from Home Goods, Marshalls, TJ Maxx, one of those three. And I actually usually have a runner that matches that I have on the would have on the table. And this little tree was his mom's. And finally got this frame this year. My mom crocheted this. She would always crochet last names as gifts. And when we bought the house, I asked her, could you please crochet Bain for me? So someday this door will go to a half bath, which is kind of comical since Bain is the name of the house, but Bain in French also means bath. So kind of a play on words there. So we go this way, and this is the butler's pantry. A few little things in the window here. And here is my office. And I do have a tree on top of my desk. And the tree is kind of a quirky little tree with button garland, some little crystal drops, cinnamon ornaments. The tree topper was Richard's tree topper when I first met him on his original tree that we had. Little rocking horse that I got from a craft show. This teddy bear is super soft, and I think I got him at a Hallmark store. They had a whole collection of Mitford series from Jan Carone, spelled like our last name but with a K instead. The little vintage looking candle was actually a fundraiser when I was in 7th grade, and I bought. The little mouse is from, Merry Christmas. And the little snow globe with a rocking horse was actually a gift from Alice. She gave Julie and myself the rocking horse because we were the youngsters of the group, and I think Pat and Marcia got old St. Nick, since they were the older ones. So we always had a laugh about that. I also have a painting in here. Sorry for the glare. This is from George Pollard. He was a Kenosha artist, and I got this at one of the fundraisers. One had a winning bid or something. In here is my kitchen, and I do have a tree in here. And the tree is kind of funny, as my sister has one almost exactly like this. I have some little potato masher, colander, little candy molds, rolling pin. Just super cute. And then back here is where we spend most of our time, or at least my time. A little Christmas greetings. And in here is our TV room. And I do have a little quirky tree here with a snowman. Both of those I got this year at great store a few blocks from my house called Pine Blossom. And my favorite thing in here is this bookshelf. And these are all my little small Santas that I've collected over the years. And it all started with the little guy up there, second to the left. He was one of the first, I think he was the first Santa I got at a craft show in DuPage County Fairgrounds at Wheaton. I think it was called Carole King. And the one just to the right of that is a chalkware Santa. And these Santas are all kind of quirky, kind of like me. They look vintagey. And there's a little beeswax one. And I just love spending time in this room with all my Santas. And like I said, I usually keep these out till probably beginning of February. I usually try to say Martin Luther King, but my husband's always like, oh, do it next weekend instead. So I hope you all enjoy this Christmas tour. And Karen, this was for you. And Debbie, please show this to Mom. Thanks. Merry Christmas, everybody.